Hello everyone, welcome to the new class of chemistry. In today's class, as we discussed earlier, there was a small topic left. It's about the instantaneous rate of reaction. We discussed in the previous class about the average rate of reaction, which is actually depending upon the average rate that occurs when a reaction continues. But what is an instantaneous rate of reaction? It is nothing but the rate of reaction which can be calculated at a particular period of time, right? Like for example, we had a graph yesterday. We had seen a graph of concentration of products to time, also the concentration of reactants to time. Both graphs we have seen. We have taken both the instantaneous rate of reaction here as well as the average rate of reaction. The average rate of reaction we had considered about with the help of higher value to lower value over a particular period of time. That is how we calculate the average. We have calculated the average rate of reaction. But in case of an instantaneous rate of reaction, we will take a certain period of time. Like for example, at time t, we had taken here the rate of reaction at time t on a slope which could be at a particular time period. Okay, so here also, in order to calculate the instantaneous rate of reaction, we will just take it in a similar way. The instantaneous rate of reaction can be taken in just a similar way as we had mentioned earlier. The average rate of reaction can be written with the help of minus delta concentration of our reactant by delta T equals change in concentration of product divided by change in time. Delta is showing the change and the square bracket shows the concentration of that particular substance. So if we are approaching this time interval towards 0, that means there will be a small time change or small reactant or product amount found in that particular time period. So it will be changed as minus d minus d divided by dt concentration of reactant equals d by dt concentration of product. Also, the concentration rate of reaction has a SI unit. The concentration, SI unit of concentration is mole liter raised to minus 1, right? And we also know that the time period has the SI unit seconds. When we write it in the denominator, we will take it into the numerator side, it will become second raised to minus 1. So this is the SI unit of the rate of the reaction, mole liter raised to minus 1 seconds raised to minus 1. This is the SI unit of rate of reaction. SI unit of rate of reaction. Okay. Now, how can we write the rate of reaction on the basis of some certain equations? Suppose we have equation mercury plus chlorine plus hydrogen mercury chloride. Mercury is a liquid, we know that very well. Chlorine gas and the substance reactant. The product that we have got is actually a solid. So the rate of reactant, we will write it always in the form, the reactant will be always taken as minus. So minus change in mercury, concentration of mercury divided by delta T equals minus one more reactant we have, minus delta means change in concentration of chlorine bracket in the square bracket Cl2 divided by delta T change in time equals change in concentration of product HgCl2 divided by change in time. That's how we write the rate of reaction. But what if there is a stoichiometric coefficient for any of the reactant or product side? We had studied that stoichiometric coefficient is actually the coefficient which is found just before the reactant or product. So suppose we have a chemical reaction 2Hi hydrogen 2 hydrogen iodide gives hydrogen plus iodine, and all of them are in gaseous state. So if such a reaction is being given, then we are well aware that the hydrogen iodide is having a stoichiometric coefficient of 2, right? So in order to balance the rate of reaction, means in order to balance the equation that we are writing, what we will do, we will take the reciprocal of the reciprocal of the coefficient that we had taken, and we will multiply that reciprocal with the particular rate of reaction wherever we write it. That is, we will write definitely the rate of reaction minus delta concentration of hydrogen iodide divided by change in time. With this, we will multiply the reciprocal of what we have the stoichiometric coefficient, that is 1 by 2, and it will be in minus. And the remaining, we know they are products. So change in concentration of hydrogen by change in time equals change in concentration of iodine divided by change in time. Suppose if we have an equation one more with respect to this, how we will write it. So this is one more equation. 5 bromine minus iron aqueous solution plus bromine trioxide aqueous solution plus 6H plus hydrogen ion gives 3 bromide plus water. Most of them are aqueous solution except of the water. So how we will write the rate of reaction? So bromine have 5 as coefficient, so we will write minus 1 by 5. It doesn't have any coefficient, so we will write it as such. Hydrogen has 6, as the 6 number of hydrogen ions are present, so we will write it as 1 by 6. Bromide ion has 3, so it will write 1 by 3. Water molecule has 3, so we will write it as 1 by 3. That's how we write the rate of reaction of any particular reactions. Okay, what could be the factors that influence a chemical reaction, if in short we are asking? So from the smaller classes itself, we are studying that a chemical reaction has influence over one or two things. One, the concentration of the reactant, how much reactant concentrations have been taken. First, dependency of rate of reaction. Second, the temperature, definitely at what temperature is the reaction taking place. Third, if there is any catalyst taking place, if there is any presence of catalyst in the chemical reaction. We know that catalyst is something that we know that catalyst is something that alters the rate of a reaction, means it either increases or decreases the rate of reaction. So that's how the chemical reaction factors, or rate of reaction of a certain chemical reaction is actually influenced by nature of the concentration of reactant, the temperature of which at which the chemical reaction takes place, and also the catalyst that actually takes place in that chemical reaction. Okay, now we will study a new concept, rate expression and rate constant. So what is rate expression and rate constant? It is nothing but to express or a representation where the rate of reaction is expressed with the help of the concentration of reactants. So whatever reactant we have, with the help of only reactant, we will express the rate of reaction. How? We will just see. Suppose we have a example, general equation reaction A capital A plus B capital B, which is the product reactant side, gives C capital C plus D capital D, which is the product side. So if we see clearly, then these capital letters represent the reactant and product respectively, and the small letters A and B, the stoichiometric coefficient of capital A and capital B, and small c and small d is the stoichiometric coefficient of capital C and capital D. So how we will write the rate expression of a reaction? We just said rate expression is nothing but to write the equation to write a equation on the basis of concentration of reactants. So if you are taking a rate, then it will be always directly proportional to the concentration, square bracket concentration of reactant A to the power x into reactant B to the power y. Suppose we are having two reactants. We are studying in this chapter, also in the syllabus, regarding the binary solutions. So we will have two reactants. If we have only one reactant, then we will avoid this. We will write only capital A to the power x. Why we are writing here x and y is because we are not confirmed about the fact that if the reactant, when it is completely changing into the product, will have this same stoichiometric coefficient. And suppose there is water formation, H2 plus O2 gives H2O. So it is not necessary that the molecules, which are the number of molecules that hydrogen or oxygen have, when they combine together to form another substance, will have the same amount of stoichiometry when they become the product. So that's why we will write in a case that concentration will be x or y. It could be equal to the stoichiometric coefficient of reactant. It might not be equal to the stoichiometric coefficient of the reaction. So we will write it in such way that rate equals K into concentration of the reactant A and concentration of reactant to the power B. So this is how we write the concentration of any rate expression. Right, it will be the raised to the power of the stoichiometric expression. Here K is actually the proportionality constant. Suppose if we are trying to do it with an example, we have an equation. Suppose I'm writing here, we have an equation 2NO plus O2 gives 2NO2. Suppose this is the chemical reaction and you are asked to write the reaction rate of reaction of this particular reaction. So how we will write? There is one more thing which I didn't say. Rate of the reaction can also be expressed in case of instantaneous reactant d by minus concentration of reactant by dt equals K into A upon power x to B to the power y. So how we will write the rate of reaction of this certain reaction? We are not given any other thing that the rate of concentration of this nitrous oxide and this oxygen is something else. So what we will do, we will adjust with whatever coefficient is being given. So we will write it this way: minus d concentration of reactant equals K reactant constant, I mean the proportionality constant, which is known as the rate constant, concentration of NO, we have given with NO, to the power of coefficient whatever it is given, 2, into concentration of oxygen, power is not given, so it is 1. So this is how we write the rate expression of a chemical reaction. So what is actually the rate expression? It is nothing but the expression of reactants raised to the power of its stoichiometric coefficient. That is what is actually the rate expression. And rate of constant is actually the proportionality constant used. Okay. So that's all about the rate expression and the rate constant. So I hope you understood the concept. In the coming class, it will be more easier if you understood this concept. So that's all about today's class. Thank you. Have a nice day and stay safe.